All right, let's go beyond. And our first stop beyond the 208, we are taking you to one neighborhood in Milwaukie, Oregon, full of flags flying in honor of very different political views. But as Thomas Schultz from our sister station in Portland found, the people living there don't let politics get in the way of being a good neighbor.
If life is full of challenges, talking politics tops the list.
Morning.
Especially with someone you disagree with.
I like my opinion, and I like to advertise it.
To an advertiser, Dan Wagner's Milwaukie Corner house is a gold mine.
And so I have a whole trunk full of flags.
And for years, he's dotted the skyline.
Guy in the Navy showed me how to do this the right way. So that's the bottom.
With his opinion.
And that's the top. This is a good one. There you go.
His neighbors are all too aware of Dan's thoughts.
It is a landmark. I mean, if you're trying to give direction, I was like, do you know the Trump house?
And it's not hard to tell where they stand.
It was important to get that flag up.
Amanda DeMann and her wife added a Black Lives Matter flag a few years ago.
It's not as playful as the Rambo, and not as colorful as like the gay one down the street, but it's still...
It says a lot. It says a lot.
It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
After Amanda saw a young black boy being called racial slurs by a handful of white kids in their neighborhood.
And I was like, absolutely not. Like, it got really parental, and I was like, we don't talk like that around here.
Neighbors heard about the encounter. One reached out.
Dan checks on us a lot. Like, he really is looking out for everybody.
He looks out for everybody.
So, yeah, they're not going to be home right now.
Down his street, too.
Far left, far right, and then somewhere in the middle.
Like Matthew Schuster. A year ago,
Hey, brother.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah.
Matthew planted a pro-Palestine flag in his front yard.
Just for me, it got to a point where it's like, I felt I had to. I felt I had to.
Matthews lived in the neighborhood for a couple of years.
I used to be at a point where I couldn't even have a conversation with somebody of a different opinion.
For more than a year, he never spoke to his Trump-supporting neighbor. But over the summer, after an assassination attempt on Trump's life,
He was concerned about my safety.
Matthew
Yeah,
spoke to Dan for the first time.
we need to come together. We need to see each other as human beings and not be scared of ideas.
There's nothing wrong with having a different opinion and having a neighbor with a different opinion.
Dan says he's received threats because of his flags. He's warned neighbors they may receive them too.
I think everybody is just so used to seeing with this administration right now, the division, and it's just not like that here.
He's helped me turn the water main off, offered me gas. I've definitely drank beers with him.
To some, beers across the aisle amount to treason. But this
He's funny.
isn't DC.
He's a very good neighbor. He's a really great neighbor.
Yeah, you won't hear me say anything negative about Dan.
Even if a flag of Trump, dressed as Rambo,
He wishes.
waves overhead.
It's our favorite.
In Milwaukie,
I think we could be an example.
Thomas Schultz,
We're still neighbors at the end of the day.
KGW News.